Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be playing with a little bit of new makeup, specifically the new Tom Ford Glow Tinted Moisturizer. I was super excited about this launch. I am going to be sharing a few different swatches of other Tom Ford foundations I have and kind of give you my initial thoughts. I also did pick up the new beautiful Chanel. This is the Beiges Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette in Warm. Yes, I could not resist, you guys. It was calling my name. I kept on saying, oh, I don't need it, but we will be playing with this today, as well as my favorite new lippy from Chanel, playing with the new Westman Atelier. This is their newest shade of their super loaded tinted highlighter. This one is in Peau de Rose. I'm a huge fan of Peau de Peche, and so when this little beauty came out, I was like, I'm gonna have to break down and get this guy. So if you are interested in seeing how I created this look today using some new products, giving you kind of my first impressions on this guy, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're gonna be playing with the Tom Ford. This is the Glow Tinted Moisturizer. And this is a new release from them. And I ended up picking this up in the shade 4.0 Fawn. It does come in 10 different shades. It is a sheer formulation, so there should be something for everyone because it doesn't have to be perfectly matched. I was trying to debate between 4.0 Fawn and 5.5 Bisque, which is the one that I have in my stick formulation, and then I have 4.5 in my Soleil. This is the Flawless Glow Foundation, which is one of my favorites from last summer. So what I thought I would do is swatch those. We'll see how this goes, but this one is promising to have some skincare benefits such as hyaluronic acid in it. The SPF is going to be 15, so it is a low SPF. That doesn't bother me because I always will put on my own SPF of 50 as part of my skincare treatment, and then I consider any kind of tinted moisturizer as a bonus, but that is just me. My skin tends to do better with less SPF in my little foundations, so that's a personal preference. So I do want to let you know though, 15 is not super high, and so if that is something that's important to you right away, that may not cut the mustard for you. Whereas the Flawless Glow foundation here, this one has an SPF of 30, and then again, you guys, the stick's a different thing. It does not have SPF in it, but I thought I would swatch that for colors. This is infused with hyaluronic acid and jojoba oils, which is going to be very hydrating to the skin. It's going to have sheer coverage, so again, not going to have a ton of coverage, and it is promising a radiant kind of finish. So let's try this out. I think what I'll do is swatch for you first. And you guys, I'm thinking that I probably should have gone with 5.5. Fawn looks a little bit light, but we will see. Okay guys, again, I just want to see if this is a better way to swatch you. Here is Fawn, and that's in the Tinted Moisturizer. That's in 4.0. Then we have Ivory 4.5 in our Tom Ford Soleil Glow. And then we have at the bottom 5.5 in the Tom Ford Traceless. So with the what I have found with the Tom Ford is that they don't always correlate between colors between the formulations. So as it is kind of drying down here, you guys, it is oxidizing a little bit darker. I am going to take a little pea size here. Okay, I am going to rub this in. Okay, so it does have a scent, and it actually smells a lot like this guy of that lavender scent, which is not my favorite. So it is definitely trying to mask a little bit of the sunscreen. Okay, you guys, coming up close, and I feel like, you know what, 4.0 is a tad light, but it's kind of so sheer, you guys, I don't think it matters that much. And it is giving me a teeny bit of coverage here, so just not, it's, when it says sheer, it is definitely sheer. So one thing I'm noticing is it does not feel super hydrating, or even kind of like these dewier foundations that I've been playing around with recently. This feels almost like it has a little bit more of a firming effect to it. It's not making my skin feel super dry, but it's definitely not making my skin feel hydrated at all. Now, I do have to say, I do think it is kind of like blurring out any kind of pores, kind of smoothing out the skin. But I will say you can still see hyperpigmentation, you can kind of see freckles. So this is a very sheer formula. This is not going to give you a ton of coverage, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I generally want something that's going to give my skin a little oomph if I'm going to be putting it on my skin. So for $70, we shall see what we think about this guy. I can see where you might like to use this kind of as the base and then use concealer to touch up. But for the purposes of today, I will use a little concealer in my eye area, but I'm not going to be putting it all over my face. One thing is it's clinging to a little bit of dry spots. Like I always have a little bit right here in this little area, but not all foundations will cling to that. So I wanted to point that out. And again, what I would tell you is it is just kind of feeling, I don't want to say dry, but it is not feeling amazingly hydrating on the skin, despite it having hyaluronic acid and jojoba oils in it. So then I am going to use a little bit of the concealer. I'm using Tom Ford Emotion Proof, and I have this in Pale Dune. We'll put a little bit of this in the sockets here. We're going to pretend that I got sleep. I hope everybody had a good weekend, and just gonna pat that in. So let's go ahead and finish off the face. I'm going to be using Tom Ford. This is one of their glow bronzers in Terra. And we'll warm up the skin here. For cheeks, I pulled out the glow stick, and this one is in Majev. And I'm just going to put a little bit of blush on my cheeks here. Okay, we've got a little bit of blush on. Now I did pull out, I did just pick up the new Westman Atelier. This is their super loaded tinted highlighter, and this is in their new shade Peau de Rose. You guys, this is so pretty. As you can see, I've already used it a little bit. All right, I'm already a fan of Peau de Peche. It's one of my favorite highlighters, and this is Peau de Rose. And we're just gonna place a little bit of that on the tops of my cheeks. Can you guys see that kind of pretty rose glow here? This will just kind of melt into the skin. Next, we're gonna do a quick and easy eye. I did break down and get the Chanel. This is the La Beige, and this is the Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette in Warm. I was on the fence about this, you guys, but this is just the color scheme that I like to wear almost every single day. So for me, I thought I would get a lot of wear out of this. Now with this, you guys, I've never tried any of these kind of Healthy Glow palettes. I've heard mixed reviews where they were kind of dry and chalky and not the best shadows. I love the Chanel eye quads. I have so many of them, but I thought, you know what, this color story was speaking to me because it's basically kind of like my go-to eyeball. So we're gonna put this on real quick. I washed all my brushes over the weekend, so I'm being productive. Pull you in. I'm gonna start with this little beauty here. And I'm just gonna place that all over the lid. I am using Rephr #1. And yes, you guys, I really like the Rephr brushes a lot. Now, played with this palette before and have a few thoughts on it. Then we're gonna go into this beautiful kind of coral peach color here. I'm gonna continue with that same little Rephr brush here. It's such a pretty poppy spring color, and I'm gonna be placing this all over the lid. I'm going to use the Worker Pro over here, and we're going to go into this kind of pretty brown shade over here. And we're going to create a little bit of a soft eye on the outer V. And then I'm going to be pulling that up into that crease. I'm going to use the Sonia G Pencil Pro here and dip that into that brown shade here. And I am just going to run that close to the bottom lash line. And then right along the lash line on top. We're going to go into this really kind of pretty little peach shade here. I'm just going to pop a little bit of that right in the center. A little bit of sparkle. Then I'm going to go into this kind of cream shade here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that up in that brow bone. So here's what I would say about this guy. This is such a soft and subtle look. So for those of you that love kind of neutral palettes, but maybe like having this all ready to go with a teeny bit of sparkle, nothing over the top, I have really been enjoying this, but this is right up my alley. I will say that yes, the pigmentation of these are light, soft kind of watercolors versus kind of more pigmented kind of eyeshadows. So I am noticing that, but I have to say I have been wearing this nonstop since I have purchased it because it's just a really soft, easy, pretty eye, perfect for spring. I am going to line my eyes a little bit with a brown. I have this Chanel Stilo U, and this is in Espresso. And I'm just gonna define my eyes just a little bit close to the lash line. Okay, you guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna clean up my brows, put on mascara, and then we can kind of take a peek. And I'm starting to develop a few little thoughts about this guy as it is drying down onto this. Eyeballs are on, and a couple little observations. So if you were on the fence about buying this guy or wondering if you need it in your collection, probably not, you guys, but this is just an eye story that I really like. And since I hadn't tried any of these before, I had wanted to give this a try. It was kind of speaking to me. I kept on saying, oh, I don't need it, but it's just something that I think I will wear. It just makes a really soft, pretty eye, and it's not over the top. I think it's kind of nice for more mature eyes because it's, again, going to give you a little bit of a shadow, but not over the top. So I am very much enjoying this, you guys, but I think you might have something like this in your collection already, probably, but I'm happy with my purchase. Okay, we're gonna finish off the lips. This is my new favorite, Rouge Cocoa Flash. So they used to be called Rouge Cocoa Shine. So you guys, I sometimes slip when I'm talking about them, but this is the Cocoa Flash. And this is in 116 Easy. And you guys, it's just a really great color. Like, I literally love it. Just kind of an easy go-to. And it is kind of like the baby between boy and casual. And it is just a really great kind of nude. So really been enjoying that. Nice glossy formulation. Kind of good. Okay, let's talk about this guy. So first impressions, but I do want to tell you, I do think that it looks nice on the skin, but it is very sheer and my skin is feeling dry. Now I am more mature, my skin 51 years old, and what I'm finding is that it was immediately kind of dried down, but it's feeling kind of dry on my forehead, and kind of, you can see, I just feel like my skin feels tight, okay? That's what I'm saying. So there's a difference between feeling tight, kind of like firming it up, and kind of drying. And for some reason, it feels dry on my skin to the point where I do not want to add powder or powder down the middle of this because it already feels kind of dry. Now, I do live in Portland, Oregon. It is not super humid here. It's, you know, you can have a little bit of humidity, but it is nothing like when I go to like New York to visit my son, that it feels like real humidity to me. So that is where I just am not sure. You guys can let me know what you think about this. I think my main thing is that this is $70. As you know, I have a ton of other CC tinted moisturizers, BBs, that I really truly love. And so this one is just not hitting it out of the park for me. I do think it looks pretty on the skin. It is very sheer, so to me it is just going to be, if you are looking for a sheer formulation, you love Tom Ford, I think maybe if you have more combo, normal, or even oily skin type, I think you might really enjoy this. But for me right now, it just is feeling tight. So what I will do, you guys, is I will update how this wore throughout the day and all of that kind of stuff. So this really is more of a first impression of this little goodie here, but it is just not like knocking it out of the park for me. Like, ooh, I absolutely love it. So now, one thing I did notice on the Peau de Rose when I was upstairs is that this definitely has some sparkles in it, okay? Peau de Pêche which is my favorite from them, is not quite as sparkly as this guy. So I'm actually seeing the sparkles on my skin, so that could definitely be a little bit of a turn off to some of you. But the color, you guys, is just soft, pretty. It's just kind of a soft, pretty rose, but I did want to mention that as I was looking in the mirror, kind of testing the foundation, I did notice that it had some glitter, a little bit of glittery on my cheeks here. Okay, you guys, that is the final look, playing with some new goodies. And again, I will put a little bit more information in the description box about how this wore. Okay, you guys, stay healthy, stay safe, and have a fabulous rest of your day.